Hi, for fans of science fiction games who highly value the sense of freedom and the opportunity to explore vast virtual spaces, I have compiled a list of 25 open-world space games, and I'll start with Freelancer. Freelancer is a legendary space game that was released back in 2003. It's a cult game from none other than the equally iconic game designer Chris Roberts, the same person who can't seem to finish Star Citizen. Freelancer set the benchmark for space games with open worlds for many years to come. The adventurous spirit that Freelancer captures continues to be sought after and reimagined by many developers. Despite its age, the game can still give a run for its money to many modern projects. It features an open world with a plethora of possibilities and detailed physics, spaceship customization and upgrades, as well as a free play mode after completing the main storyline. Between the Stars. If you're not a fan of modern reimaginations like Elite and the X series, I recommend paying attention to this game. Here, after the prologue, you will become the captain of a ship that can be upgraded, level up your crew, install and create powerful offensive and defensive weapons. Of course, there aren't as many ships and modules here, but there is a beautiful open space with the ability to traverse an entire galaxy, encountering various adventures along the way. Breathedge. This adventure game is about survival in open space and tells the story of an ordinary guy and his pet. In the sea of floating debris, we will have to build our own space house and start a new life together with the chicken that the main character's grandfather loved so much. The game features a detailed crafting system, the ability to create your own shelter and manage a spaceship. The game stands out with a large amount of dark humor and comedic situations. EVE Online, one of the best space MMOs today, where you will travel through a vast universe, participate in PvP and PvE activities, join corporations and alliances, as well as complete quests, which are hard to do without. The adventure begins with a small ship and a small sum of money, and you are free to choose your own path. However, there are thousands of other players around you who control the local economy, which closely resembles the real world, and their actions influence the state of affairs in each star system. The game is alive, thriving to this day, and regularly receives various expansions. Star Wars: The Old Republic. The Star Wars universe seems like the perfect setting for creating an MMORPG. Therefore, there have been two on PC over the years. The first, now deceased, Star Wars Galaxies, perished at the hands of its own developers, who destroyed the balance. The second, The Old Republic, still adorns any list of the best Star Wars games on PC. Its merits include one of the largest budgets in the history of the industry, developers from BioWare, and a story that continues the Knights of the Old Republic saga. The creators focused on a story campaign that turned out to be so interesting that the project can confidently be included in the top adventure games. No Man's Sky. It's a sandbox game dedicated to the discovery and exploration of new planets, previously unseen races, flora, and fauna. There is no specific storyline in the game. There is a vague goal of reaching the center of the galaxy, but it can take a very long time. The game generates an almost infinite world with 18 quintillion planets, which are randomly created along with their flora, fauna, landscapes, and climates the moment you discover them. After landing on their surface, the most interesting part begins. Here, you can discover new exotic life forms and give them names, encounter new alien races, learn their languages, trade, fight against sentinels, explore the depths of seas and oceans, find factories, outposts, shelters, beacons, and alien artifacts. Elite Dangerous. This is an online game about space with an open world, delighting players with a vast universe of 400 billion star systems and modern graphics, as well as excellent spaceship control physics, of which Elite Dangerous offers a wide variety. The chosen ship can be customized to your liking and further upgraded and improved. A pleasant feature of the game is the fairly regular release of updates with new content, as well as an active community that helps develop the game. If you have too much free time, enjoy documentaries about space, and dream of exploring the galaxy, then this game is definitely for you. Star Trek Online is a space-themed free-to-play MMORPG set in the famous Star Trek universe. At the beginning, you create your own captain by choosing one of several offered races or creating your own. You can also choose your character's specialization and faction. This choice is crucial as it significantly influences gameplay and the narrative development. Afterward, you will be given your own ship and set off on adventures. Essentially, it is a classic MMORPG where you will engage in battles with other players and complete storyline missions. Starbound is a pixelated 2D sandbox game with a vast world consisting of numerous star systems. Each new universe is randomly generated, and the developers have incorporated the best elements from similar products while adding their own gameplay features. The player's journey begins with basic survival tasks such as gathering food, building shelters, and defending against monsters. But soon, firmly established, the player embarks on conquering different continents, worlds, and universes, collecting a unique collection of items. Instead of just one planet, here you have an entire universe randomly generated and populated by multiple unique civilizations, with which you can interact. Space Engineers is a sandbox game where you can engage in constructing massive space stations or planetary rovers. After building them, you can embark on grand interstellar journeys, colonize a preferred planet, or even attack the ship of another nearby space engineer. Since its early alpha versions, the game has introduced atmospheric planets, missions, planetary transportation, and thousands of other small details. However, the game remains focused on constructing ships cube by cube. You have a vast assortment of parts, components, and frameworks at your disposal, allowing you to create almost anything that comes to mind, with few limitations. Mass Effect series. After Star Wars, BioWare decided to create another space-themed RPG, but this time in their own universe. Thus, the Mass Effect trilogy was born, arguably the main space saga in the history of video games. Throughout the 3 installments, Shepard, their allies, and companions saved the world and battled against the enigmatic Reapers, who periodically annihilate all life in the galaxy. The game is more action-oriented, but it also features character progression, non-linearity, moral choices, and complex relationships between the main character and their companions. Each character has their own story, which unfolds during the gameplay. ASTRONEER, an original open-world arcade game about space explorers engaged in the search for new planets and the subsequent exploration for valuable minerals. You can play solo or cooperatively with friends. In the game, you can manipulate the terrain and engage in the construction of bases and various equipment. The game truly inspires a desire for exploration. Planets differ in difficulty, resources, and atmosphere, and players' plans can be disrupted by various catastrophes. X Series, a game series that has been telling its story since 1999 and shows no signs of stopping. Admittedly, not all of its releases have been of high quality, but the franchise still has a dedicated fan base. The X Series games offer the opportunity to explore an open world, mine resources, engage in trade, combat, build space stations, and even manage a stellar empire. There are numerous types of spaceships available for purchase, ranging from small scouts to massive carriers, and each one can be controlled, customized, and upgraded. But the most important aspect of the game is the immense freedom of action and choice it offers. Empyrion Galactic Survival, a space adventure with elements of a survival simulator, where you can explore space, build and customize ships, as well as land on planets, explore them, gather resources, and engage in combat with enemies. The game supports multiplayer, so you can team up with other players, create clans, and conquer entire galaxies. In summary, it's a diverse and feature-rich space sim with a wealth of content. Precursors. Most likely, not many of you remember this old but quite good game with blasters and spaceships. Here, you have your own small ship, and you can buy better blasters, shields, and more for it. At first, the quests are not very interesting, but as you progress through the story, you gain more freedom and the ability to travel to a large number of planets, fight, plunder, and have fun in space. And depending on the actions taken throughout the game, the ending will change. Outer Wilds. At the center of the story is a space explorer trying to uncover the mystery of a vanished civilization. The unique aspect of the game is that the player has only 22 minutes before a supernova explosion destroys everything. Then the timer resets, and in each expedition, the player explores wider and deeper, gradually piecing together the story of the extinct species that once inhabited the universe and held the secrets of the cosmos. In essence, Outer Wilds is an adventure, but this game goes beyond such a simple classification, combining an intriguing narrative, physical challenges, and mind-bending puzzles. Everspace 2, the sequel to a popular arcade shooter with enchanting space panoramas and a vast star system that can now be explored at will. The developers abandoned the roguelike elements in favor of freedom of movement, while maintaining the role-playing component, a rich and active world, a faction system, and stunning graphics. Here, we can expect numerous options for spaceships and weapons, as well as hundreds of diverse enemies. Unlike the first installment, Everspace 2 offers a full-fledged story campaign where we can meet other space conquerors and learn more about the game universe. Our hero will gain experience, level up, and develop their ship. Avorion. At first glance, it's like Minecraft in a vast open space. However, if you dig deeper, you'll find a devilish combination of the X-series games and Freelancer, with the addition of a multiplayer mode and the ability to construct spaceships. The editor allows you to create a vessel of almost any configuration using various blocks. In summary, procedural generation, a vast galaxy, shipbuilding, and the ability to play with friends will immerse you in this world for a long time. Evochron Legacy, a sandbox space simulator made with the principle of no plot, entertain yourself. This places high demands on gameplay, and the game lives up to it. It's enjoyable just to fly around and explore the universe, complete side missions, fly through space and planets, build cities and stations, trade, and fight for your faction. The cosmos is divided into numerous sectors, each with its planets and bases. You can fly to each planet, and on planets, in orbit, and in open space, you can build your own bases. PULSAR Lost Colony. This game is most enjoyable when played with friends. Here you can explore space, trade, engage in combat, explore planets, or wreak havoc on a ship. It's a fun game, but if you don't have at least 3 friends willing to follow their captain even into a black hole, it might get boring. Overall, it's an excellent game that reminds you of the old-school Elite but with pleasant graphics, and most importantly, a cooperative mode where up to 5 people can control one ship together. That's where the real fun lies. Rebel Galaxy, a beautiful space arcade game with role-playing elements, where we'll command giant spaceships with dozens of characters on board. There's the option to customize nearly all ship systems, including weapons, engines, and shield systems. The developers managed to combine and find a golden middle ground between space and naval settings. It might seem absurd to move in a single plane in space, but in practice, it works quite well and feels unique. The game features simple controls, a humorous storyline, and is highly recommended for fans of the Firefly series. Between the Stars, an arcade space game with simulator elements and beautiful graphics. After the prologue, the player becomes the captain of a space cruiser that can be upgraded and the crew can be leveled up. It allows you to create and install various weapons. Although there are currently few ships and modules available, the game is in early access. The game does not claim to be a realistic simulator. It is quite arcade-like and solely pursues entertainment purposes. However, this does not diminish the atmosphere of the infinite cosmos. Celestial Command, a two-dimensional arcade space simulator with realistic orbital mechanics and space flights. The world is generated procedurally, and players can build their ships and space stations from scratch. They can explore the seamless world cooperatively with up to 32 players, engage in battles, and command an entire fleet. It is worth noting that the player is not tied to a single ship. You can build as many ships and space stations as you wish, and you can freely switch between them at any time. Resources are required to construct them, which can be gathered from destroyed asteroids or defeated enemies. Void Destroyer 2, a sandbox simulator with RPG elements, where players are completely free to choose their path, from being a pirate to a trader. At the beginning, you will only be given a basic ship barely suitable for combat. Later on, you can upgrade it or acquire new, more powerful ships. Eventually, you will have your own fleet of combat and regular ships under your command. The game's universe is vast, and there will always be something to do in it. Wayward Terran Frontier, a 2D space simulator with RPG elements and a dark atmosphere in an open procedural world. Players can create their own spaceships and install various modules on them using a convenient editor. Controlling the ship at the beginning of the game is quite challenging. The task becomes easier once you find or build better ships. Searching for new hulls and creating your own interior is genuinely interesting. The game becomes captivating even after the first 20 minutes. That's all. Thank you for watching. The Image Game channel was with you. Have a good day.